of devout front of the temple. Suddenly, a lean and poorly climbing the pillar, carrying abandon with both arms raised, as if possessed.
Hey, let us hear what he says.
Hey! Listen to me, all of you. A great saint will be born very shortly. Yes, a great Redeemer who will lead us into the path of salvation.
Let us now go to Madhyageha Bhatta's house, where the baby for whom the parents have waited anxiously for more than 12 years of penance and austerity, and destined to be the future Madhva, has been born and is being given its name by the parents.
Bhatta, you have to give the name of the baby.
Let it be Vasudeva.
Vasudeva, the tender baby, is still breastfed by the mother, who is being called out of Madhyageha Bhatta's house for some urgent work with their relatives. Only young Kalyani, the child's sister, is awake.
Wait, brother. Amma will be back. Will feed you. Oh, again. Ma, see him cry like don't know when Amma. Lovely child, something for you to eat.
What a wretch I am! I have neglected to feed the tender baby so long. May God forgive me. My darling baby, how hungry you might be. Kalyani, you fool! What have you done? Don't you understand that a young baby cannot be fed horse gram? You have fed him that in a quantity meant for the cow. Oh, what will happen now? Look, though my son's belly is still full, he is smiling in his sleep. I think right.
One day, Vasudeva, a boy slightly older than a year, outside and enters the house as he was.
Amma, I am hungry. Give me my food.
Vasu, meals are ready. Call your father also.
Appa, come in. Let's take food. I am feeling very hungry.
I will come later, Vasu. Go and have your food.
No, Appa. We will have food together.
No, my dear. Do you see that man standing there?
Yes, the man who sold you the oxen.
Yes, he says he won't allow me to go unless I settle his dues right now.
Is that all? I will settle your dues. Allow my father to have his food.
You are going to settle my dues?
Take these and release my father.
I am sorry that for this trifle I made you fast till now. Please go.
Is your account settled, sir?
Of course, my sweet child.
Madhyageha couple in a marriage in Nidiyur. 2-year-old Vasudeva leaves the hall unnoticed and goes to Shankar Narayana temple in Kodavur, then on to temples in Bannanje and Udupi. While on his way to Udupi, Passers-by noticed the very attractive child going all alone.
Where are you going, dear child? Who are you? Where are your parents?
He is so young and sweet. He should not be without an escort.
Come with us. We will leave you at your house.
Vasudeva goes visiting one temple, accompanied by the same Lord worshipped therein, and finally reaches in front of Lord Ananteshwara. Anxious Madhyageha comes in search of the son. Passers-by show the way on. He sees his son in front of Ananteshwara.
Vasu, do you know how much we were worried? Were you not afraid to go all alone?
I was not afraid, Appa, as I was not alone.
Then with whom did you come here?
All along, God was with me and brought me here.
This boy is God's own gift to us. May Lord Ananteshwara take care of him.
Bhatta is of the alphabets on the sand as per the tradition to Vasudeva.
Now read one by one as you did.
Why do you repeat yesterday's lessons? Please go ahead to the next.
My God, my child grasps things immediately with only one lesson. Let not evil eyes fall on him.
While the students bring to their teacher, Vasudeva struck the ball. Angriveness.
Ambara Ganga Chumbita Padaha Padatala Vidalita Gurutara Shakataha Kaliya Naga Shwela Nihanta Sarasi Jana Vadala Vikasita Nayana Kala Ganali Karburakaya Sharashata Shakalita Tipushata Nivaha Santatamasman Patu Murari Satataga Samajava Kagapati Nirataha.
Hey Vasudeva, if you are so inattentive to the lessons, why do you come to the school?
Pardon me, teacher. This lesson was a repetition of the same mantra taught earlier.
Do not talk and act like Brihaspati. If you are so good, recite the next mantra.
Tvashta aramagrajam gopam puro yava anamahuve indurindra vrujahare pavamana prajapatihi vanaspatim pavamana madvasamang dhidaraya.
My mind is totally detached from the affairs of the world and is always drawn towards God. I cannot tolerate the Supreme God being insulted in front of me. If I do not take the oath of an ascetic, I will have to destroy evil forces in this Kali Yuga, which will not be as God desires. Hence, I will renounce everything and become a monk.
Vasudeva, now a boy of about 8 years, silently making plans for renunciation. His father watches him anxiously.
Vasu, why are you prostrating in front of all these things?
Appa, God is present everywhere. Did he not appear out of a pillar as Narsimha?
Yes, but
I see God's forms everywhere and in everything.
Vasums to Ananteshwara temple prostrates and moves on, reaching Sri Achyuta Prajna. Enters the hall where the sage is sitting and prostrates.
May God bless you, my boy. Who are you?
I am Vasudeva, son of Madhyageha Bhatta of Pajaka Kshetra. I want to renounce the world, hence I have come to you. Please, sir, why are you silent? Give me the initiation of an ascetic and take me as your disciple.
Vasu, what is this? Are you thinking of renunciation and becoming a recluse?
Appa, it is God's desire. Have faith in the Almighty. He who takes care of the entire universe will take care of you too.
Please don't be so heartless and leave us. Straight before you.
Look, you have just given me permission to renounce the world.
How?
You have bowed before me, your son. Appa, don't you know that an elder should not bow before an youngster unless he is an ascetic? Please do not try to oppose the will of Lord Sri Hari.
In the village Matha, Bhatta visits his son again, hoping to dissuade him from becoming an.
I will commit suicide if you take up wearing a loincloth to take sannyasa.
I have done it. Now commit the improper act if you can. From this moment onwards, the whole world is my home. I am dedicating myself to the worship of the Lord and saving the good people of the world. You must not come in the way for such good actions.
Vasudeva is sitting in front of Achyuta Prajna. The latter is initiating the boy as an ascetic, giving him the very appropriate name Purna Prajna, the all-knowing.
It is God's will that you have come to us. Hereafterwards, you will be known as Purna Prajna.
Blessed.
Achyuta Prajna is giving a discourse in Bhagavata to a few of his students.
Amuni Bhagavadrupe Mayate Hyanuvarnite Ubhe api nagrinhanti Maya srishter vipaschitaha.
The reading here is Maya Srishte Avipaschitaha.
Yes, this is the correct version, acceptable to Vedavyasa himself.
How can you say it so confidently?
I know the entire Bhagavata, composed by Vedavyasa.
In that case, recite the Panchamaskandha. Let the senior hermit look at the book to check it.
अतिसुकुमारकरचरणोरस्थल विपुल बाह्वं सगळ वदनाद्यवयवविन्यासः प्रकृतिसुन्दरः स्वभावहाससुमुखो नवनलिनदलायमान शिशिरतारचार्वरुणायतनयनो असदृशसुभगकपोल कर्णकण्ठनासो विगूढस्मितवदनमहोत्सवेन पुरवनितानां मनसि कुसुमशरमुपदधानः परागमलम्बमान कुटिलजटिलकपिशकेशभूरिभारोऽवधूत मलिननिजशरीरेण ग्रहगृहीत इवादृश्यत.
Purna Prajna, how can you know so much in such a short time?
This is not due to study in this life, but is the result of my studies in earlier lives.
Purna Prajna, sitting in front of Achyuta Prajna for being anointed as his successor to the lineage.
Now you are the heir to Vedanta Samraj, all spiritual wisdom. Be named as Ananda Tirtha on this.
Achyuta Prajna is sitting with Purna Prajna, a senior hermit, and a few students. On the opposite side were seated another ascetic and his disciples, having a friendly debate.
I want to show that the soul and creator are different entities. In essence, as the soul is subservient.
If you say that the soul and the Almighty are two different entities, you will also have to account for the difference between the difference itself and the soul. If you go on finding the difference between the two entities successively, where is the end?
I will now argue that just as a rope may appear as a snake when not properly seen, similarly, this world is not real and is an illusion.
When a potter makes a pot, the pot is not an illusion. Similarly, the Creator too has created this universe. It must be real and cannot be dismissed as an illusion.
Sage Purna Prajna, your capacity for logical argument is unsurpassed. We call you in future as Anumana Tirtha as the most befitting name.
Achyuta Prajna and Purna Prajna are discussing Shankara's Brahma Sutra Bhashya. A senior hermit and a few students.
When the Brahma Sutras are studied independently with an open mind, along with other valid pramanas, it gives a different meaning. But this Bhashya seems to be saying something entirely opposite.
I see that you have some doubt on the Bhashya. Go ahead.
But when you go through the Bhashya or the explanatory commentaries, the meanings attributed to the text are entirely different. The two cannot be reconciled.
It is improper to question the authority of the Bhashyakara like this.
Please think about what I am saying with an open mind.
If you think that you are such a great scholar and know more than the great Shankara himself, why don't you write a new Bhashya on the Brahma Sutras instead of sniping at the ancient one?
All right, sir. I will obey your instructions.
Leaving the Shankara Bhashya now, tell us about the correct interpretation of sutras and Upanishads in a clear manner and dispel our doubts.
Please, we want to know too.
Hundreds of devotees and scholars have assembled to hear Purna Prajna give a discourse on Aitareya Upanishad in a temple near Payasvini river. There are many in the audience who want to challenge the new teacher.
Narayana is immanent in the food we intake and takes a new form and is enshrined in our body when the food is assimilated in the blood.
It is incorrect. This mantra in Aitareya describes the creation of soul.
I do not disagree with what you say.
Then how could the same text have different meanings?
There are 3 different meanings to the Vedas. Mahabharata has 10-fold meanings, and there are 100 meanings to each name of the Lord in Vishnu Sahasranama.
Tell us the 100 meanings of Vishnu Sahasranama.
I will do so, but you should note and repeat all the 100 meanings when I finish.
We will do so. Please go on.
Vishanti asmin ananta kalyana gunaha, an abode of infinite superlative qualities. Vishatiti Vishwam, the one that has entered all the entities in the world is Vishwam. Vina Garudena Shvayate iti Vishwam. V stands for Garuda, the celestial falcon. He who has Garuda as his chariot is Vishwam.
Purna Prajna without force for thought, audience enable encyclopedic scope past spate. In Ananta Shayana temple, Tiruvanantapura, Purna Prajna is explaining his conclusion purport of Brahma Sutras. Eminent scholars were
God, infinite and eternal auspicious qualities. The souls have many defects, very limited in their capacities, and always dependent on God for their very existence. Therefore, the soul can never be identical with God. We should get His grace by constant devotion. He will redeem us with His divine grace. This is the Siddhanta of Veda Vyasa in the Brahma Sutras.
Sacrilege! You are uttering blasphemous ideas.
No, you have to break away from tradition if reason demands. Only true devotion to the Almighty will lead us to salvation. Veda Vyasa has established this in his Brahma Sutras too.
You are going against the accepted tradition of Advaita Vedanta, which is the only correct meaning of the Shastras. If you have real courage and conviction, write your own commentary on the Brahma Sutras.
Sir, don't get angry. If you disagree, let us discuss your objections properly. There is no royal proclamation, banning new thoughts, or writing new commentaries.
Yes. What Purna Prajna says is correct. We want to hear and understand his ideas. Sir, please go ahead.
Achyuta Prajna was sitting with Purna Prajna and a few students at Udupi.
Now that I have completed my pilgrimage to the south, I would like to go to the north. I am anxious to visit Badri and pay my obeisance to Lord Narayana.
I will miss your company very much, but duty should come first. Please go and fly the flag of truth and virtue. May the great Narayana who resides in Badri Kshetra protect you always.
It is a cold night. Purna Prajna is engrossed in reading Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, composed by him in front of Lord Narayanpal at Badri.
Devayanam natva sarvadosha vivarjitam paripurnam guromschan Gitartham vakshyami shaktitaha.
Why do you say Shaktitaha? You have the capacity to teach fully, but others are incapable of grasping it. Hence, just say Leshitaha instead of Shaktitaha.
O Lord, it will be as you desire.
Devam Narayanam Natva Sarvadosha Vivarjitam Paripurnam गुरूंश्चान् गीतार्थं वक्ष्यामि लेशतः.
Let the Gita rendering he continued.
As you desire, my lord.
I am going to the hermitage of Sri Vedavyasa. I do not know when or whether I'll return. Please follow my teachings and advice and act accordingly for your best. Satyatirtha treks the whole day in the Himalayan slopes trying to follow Purna Prajna, seen dimly at a distance. When it is nearing dark, he is still as far from him as ever and sees Purna Prajna jumping fast from one hilltop to the other. Purna Prajna waves at him to return. Satyatirtha bows and finds himself instantly back at Anantamatha with the other. Vedavyasa is religious. In his hermitage, Purna Prajna enters and prostrates. Vedamadhva are going towards Narayanashrama. When they reach the hermitage, Lord Narayana receives them. Madhva prostrates before Vyasana, which are both different forms of the Supreme Being.
My dear child, you should write your commentaries on the scriptures and Brahma Sutras and make the good people of the world know the truth which has been obscured by others. That is the main purpose of your incarnation.
The matchless bliss that I get in seeing and serving you every day is my heart's desire. In the present Kali age, there are no good people on earth interested in knowledge and redemption.
No, there are few good people with faith, even now, though they are helpless with their minds and intellect covered by Ajnana and Mithyajnana. You should gather them together like precious beads from a broken necklace and lead them to the right path. This is my desire.
I will carry out your order.
Acharya Madhva at Badrinath from Narayanashrama. The disciples were joyed at the return of their master. The news spreads like wildfire. Several lords such as Agnisharma of all the offers same Acharya partakes all. Madhva composes Brahma Sutra Bhashya there and dictates it to his favorite disciple Satya.
नारायणं गुणैः सर्वैः उदीर्णं दोषवर्जितं ज्ञेयं गम्यं गुरूंश्चापि नत्वा सूत्रार्थ उच्यते.
During his return, Acharya Madhva on the Bangi gives a discourse to an assembly of scholars in a temple. Shobhan, an eminent scholar in the Ved Shastra, is prominent.
Ikshater na shabdam. God is the ocean of auspicious qualities. Each letter of the scriptures recites one of his names. Every word is an epithet of God.
But the Vedas declare that God is Nirguna, void of all qualities.
How can the Vedas describe him if he has no attributes at all?
I understand.
They continued their discussion. Bhatta was fully convinced about Tattvavada being taught by Purnaprajna. Acharya Madhva is back in Udupi and is discussing his new preachings with his teacher Achyuta Prajna. A senior hermit and other disciples were in attendance.
The purport of the Brahma Sutras cannot be the identity of the soul, with its essence of dependence, very limited capacity, and bondage, along with the Supreme Being with infinite auspicious qualities. Please try to follow the correct interpretations given by me, without prejudice.
But the ancient Bhashya of Acharya Shankara says differently. I am not still clear how such a great person could.
All that is traditional need not be correct. You have yourself agreed that the pramanas given by me prove that the Siddhanta acceptable to Vedavyasa is as concluded by me in my Bhashya. Any other interpretation will be inconsistent and against the correct purport of the Vedas. If you have any doubts, let us discuss.
Showed at Malpas Krishna Ayadva Sarovara for washing.
Vande Vandyam Sadanandam Vasudevam Niranjanam Indirapatim Adyadi Varadesha Varapradam घृष्टपीठवत् हृत्तमशमनेर्काभं श्रीपतेः पादपङ्कजं वन्दे वन्द्यम्.
After one it is done, it becomes 230 disciples, but easily lifted by who installs it on the pedestal and take up.
स्वर्णमञ्जीरसंगीतम् आरूढं जगदम्बया वन्दे वन्द्यम्. उदरं चिन्त्यमीशस्य तनुत्वेऽपि अखिलं भरं वलित्रयाङ्कितं नित्यम् उपगूढं श्रियैकया वन्दे वन्द्यम्. अनन्तम् अन्तवदिवा भुजयोः अन्तरङ्गतं वन्दे वन्द्यम्. शङ्खचक्र गदा पद्म धराश्चिन्त्या हरेर्भुजाः पीनवृत्ता जगद्रक्षा केवलोद्योगिनो निशं वन्दे.
Acharya Madhva also initiates 8 other ascetics for worship of Lord Krishna, who have founded the traditions of the 8 mathas. Among them, the redoubtable Vishnu Tirtha, brother of Purna Prajna for his extreme austerity and great learning, who is the only one to whom Acharya Madhva, the meanings of Omkara, is believed to be still alive and doing penance in Kumaradri Hill. Others Tirtha, Narahari Tirtha, Janardana Tirtha, Upendra Tirtha, Rama Tirtha and Adokshaja Tirtha. Initiated is Hrishikesha Tirtha. The system of 8 ascetics performing the ritual pujas by turn has continued to this day. The period of change of the matha performing the puja by rotation was increased to 2 years at the time of the famous saint Vadiraja. The period of change is called Paryaya and is a grand function lasting several days.
वन्दिता शेषवन्द्योरुवृन्दारकं चन्दना चर्चितोदारपीनां सकम् इन्दिरा चञ्चलापाङ्गनीराजितं मन्दरोद्धारिवृत्तोद्भुजा भोगिनं प्रीणयामो वासुदेवम् देवतामण्डलाखण्डमण्डनम् प्रीणयामो वासुदेवम् सृष्टिसंहारलीलाविलासाततं पुष्टषाड्गुण्यसद्विग्रहोल्लासिनं दुष्टनिःशेषसंहारकर्मोद्यतं हृष्टपुष्टातिशिष्टप्रजासंश्रयं प्रीणयामो वासुदेवम् देवतामण्डलाखण्डमण्डनम् प्रीणयामो वासुदेवम् प्रीणयामो वासुदेवम् प्रीणयामो वासुदेवम्.
A guide's vice performed by Vasu Acharya Madhva's Veda teaching. Madhva's younger brother is chanting the rigs. Large men are present. Arguments offered by an opponent priest against the sacrifice on the grounds of incompetence of Vasudeva are rejected with the concurrence of the
These Ritviks are not qualified to perform.
We have already discussed this issue at great length in front of these distinguished people. The sacrifice will go on with the main object of pleasing the Supreme Being.
Madhva introduces the practice of using a symbolic animal made of flour for the sacrifice instead of a live animal. Sri Madhvacharya is travelling in King Ishwaradeva's territory with his disciples by the king's servants and taken, who orders them to join in pond under construction. It was the king's practice to compel wayfarers to labor for such works.
Look here, all of you must join in doing this work. You can only go when it is complete.
We are ascetics and not trained in such works. Please show us how.
The king starts digging to show them, but finds himself unable to stop, as Madhva, Mukhya Prana, is him controller of all living creatures. It is not surprising he finds himself totally helpless in stopping his demonstration and making the group start digging. Madhva smiles and goes on his way. Acharya Madhva's party comes to the southern bank of the Ganga. All the boatmen have fled due to fear of invasion from a Muslim king and camped on the northern shore. Unperturbed, Madhva asks his disciples to form a chain headed by him and leads them through the turbulent river. The Muslim soldiers on the other bank see the party crossing the river without boats so easily and shout to each other while wading into the water, "Stop them and kill them."
Fools! Do not jump into the river in haste. How can a small party like ours do any harm to you? We want to meet your king. Why do you want to create a quarrel unnecessarily?
Oh, fair hermit, I have stopped all the boats. How did you cross the huge river without boats? I have kept thousands of hardened, cruel gods to stop enemy spies. How did you escape from them? What do you want to do here?
We perform all our actions with the blessings of the great God who is illuminating the entire world through the sun. We are going to the north as soon as
I am very much impressed by your capacity and holiness. To stay with me, I will make all arrangements and gift you half my kingdom if you are.
The offer gives you credit, but we have renounced the world completely and cannot stay in any one place for long. Moreover, we have to go urgently to our main destination.
Madhva's party goes on, with the king's soldier forming a guard of honor, and with bearers being sent ahead by the king to make all facilities available. Acharya Madhva has reached the Vyasa hermitage for the second time. Vedavyasa and Acharya Madhva are sitting under a tree. Acharya Madhva presents his compositions, Brahma Sutra Bhashya and Upanishad and Gita Bhashyas to the Supreme.
I am giving you these stone Vyasamushtis for worship. You have fully covered the Vedas, Upanishads and Gita. You should also write a definitive work on Mahabharata to correct distortions that have crept in since I composed it. It is a great authoritative work which is essential for understanding the true purport of the Vedanta. The incorrect readings which have been included by the ignorant should be.
Though I have participated in the epic itself as Bhimasena, I would still like to seek your guidance to fully understand many points which you have written in Guhya Bhasha. With your blessings, I will compose Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya on my return.
On his return, Mad King on the banks of the Gomukha. The king is a Pashanda who does not believe in the supreme being extolled by the Vedas. Acharya Madhva is angry at the slur cast on the infallible Vedas by one who is himself unable to.
There are many texts in the Vedas which when recited do not give the result stated. Thus, all the Vedas are in.
There has to be competence in both performing the actions prescribed by the Vedas and in getting the results. If you have not seen the correct results, you do not have that competence.
This argument is incorrect. I do not find any such competent person like the unreal horn on the ass.
I will show you. Do not talk lightly about subjects on which you have no competence.
Satyam Satyam Hoy Satyam Hoy Satyam
In Ambasakar, see the river by place own boulder in a group of nearly 1,000 persons in vain and gave possible. Acharya.
The floodwater is the stream.
Yes, together or unknown any further.
Perhaps Bhima, none else.
Madhva went to the gently with one hand and placed it at the right spot.
Satisfactory now.
Acharya Madhva and party have gone to a village called Pashupe. He is giving a discourse to a large audience of devotees about Vedas.
It is not only that the infinite Vedas extol Narayana when interpreted correctly. Every word, letter and sound syllable of the Vedas extols Vishnu as its main purpose. All other types of knowledge produced pertaining to the day-to-day world is of lesser importance to this supreme purpose. All natural sounds, such as the roar of the seas, rolling of thunder, humming of bees, also do the same. One should only know how to interpret and understand these. Music, when understood in the context of extolling the divine, also fulfills the single noble purpose.
Then, respected sir, one should be able to achieve the worldly results stated in the Vedas through music also, as they have a common purpose?
Yes, one can do so.
Did this strange request with a smile and decided to display his prowess as a musician and his great devotion to the Supreme Being who controls the entire world.
आनंद मुकुंद अरविंद नयन आनंद कुंद अरविंद नयन आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद सुंदरी मंदिर गोविंद वंदे सुंदरी मंदिर गोविंद वंदे आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद चंद्रक मंदिर नंदक वंदे चंद्रक मंदिर नंदक वंदे आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद सुरेंद्र सुवंदित वंदे चंद्र सुरेंद्र वंदित वंदे आनंद परानंद वरद आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद आनंद तीर्थ परानंद वरद आनंद तीर्थ
They are so immersed in it that they are virtually unconscious of the outside world as in deep sleep. After some time, when Madhva stops, they see the flower and fruit that they had asked him to produce. They fall at the feet of the divine musician who sees the Supreme Being everywhere and in everything. Acharya Madhva is believed to be the originator of classical music of Karnataka, the tradition of making devotional musical compositions being followed by one of his immediate disciples, Narahari Tirtha. The art of Yakshagana founded by him survives to this day in Karnataka and Kerala. After his puja, Acharya Madhva gets up and sits on a high pedestal covered with a woolen cloth and starts his discourse. He goes on for an hour explaining the greatness of Mahabharata as a Pramana composition composed by Vedavyasa to explain in a practical manner with illustrations the philosophy of Vedanta itself.
नारायणाय परिपूर्णगुणार्णवाय विश्वोदयस्थितिलयोन्नियतिप्रदाय ज्ञानप्रदाय विबुधासुरसौख्यदुःखसत्कारणाय वितताय नमो नमस्ते नमो नमस्ते.
I will commence discussing my new composition, Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, today.
Guruji, when I went to my house this morning after bath, I found that our library with its entire collection of several hundred books is missing.
This is the mischief of Padmatirtha and company.
Do not worry. The library will be returned to us. Now let us continue with the pravachana.
On the invitation of the king of Kabe Nadu, Jayasimha, Acharya Madhva comes to the Vishnu Mangala temple. There is a very large crowd of people. The Raja with his ministers comes on foot to the place where the great Guru has.
Acharya, did you have a safe and comfortable journey? Please bless me and all my people with your august presence.
With the grace of Hari, we are all well. Let us go into the temple.
Sir, we have found the library stolen by Padmatirtha.
With your kind permission, could the books be taken over again?
Let Shankara Pandita take them over again. We think that the thieves have learned their lesson. Let them not be punished or imprisoned.
As my master desires.
During Acharya Madhva's stay in Vishnu Mangala, the famous debate between the learned Advaita scholar Pandita Trivikrama and Acharya Madhva. The king and it is well attended by scholars who feel that the last and final challenge is
नारायणो नन्तगुणो ब्रह्माख्यो वेदवेदितः विश्वकर्तेति विश्वज्ञः श्रुत्या युक्त्याप्यसीषधत्.
After 7 to 8 days of Vadakatha, Trivikrama Pandita has no more questions or doubts. He does not also have any answers to Madhva's questions on the Advaita doctrine which he had strongly espoused earlier. He falls at Madhva's feet.
Please forgive my presumption in trying to debate against you. Please accept me as your humble disciple and lead me to emancipation.
In Kantavara, all wrestlers in the party them to press his throat and silence him reciting a scriptural text. The assembled crowd and his disciples looked with wonder at the Vedic Rishi in their midst.
Now, I want both of you to use all your strength and squeeze my neck. I will be reciting Vedic hymns. The sound should be stopped.
I think we should not do this. You may not be able to breathe.
Try your hardest.
They try their hardest. but the sound of hymns emanating from the throat of Acharya Madhva continues. They sweat with the strain and are fanned at Madhva's.
No, sir. We cannot do it. Please forgive us.
Acharya Madhva has fulfilled his mission in life. He is extremely fit and active, performing his daily routine meticulously. He has decided to spend the rest of his time of his incarnation as Madhva in the ashrama of Vedavyasa at Acharya Madhva is sitting in the Anantasana temple in his usual place and giving a discourse about his favorite Aitareya Upanishad.
Pradurbabhu Bhagavan tapasa itarayaha Narayanaha abjajasutasya vishalanamnaha.
His discourse continues. Then from the sky fell divine flowers on his head with many wonderful colors and smells not known in the earth. The disciples watch with wonder but are not too surprised, as they always knew that their master's discourses are listened to with great attention by the God.
Namaste Pranesha Pranata Vibhavaya Vadibhaga Namaswamin Rama Priyatama Hanuman Guru Guna Namastubhyam Bhima Prabalatama Krishneshcha Bhagavan Namah Shriman Madhva Pradisha Sudrshanno Jaya Jaya Prathamo Hanuman Nama Dvitiyo Bhimayev cha Purna Prajnas Tritiyastu Bhagavatkarya Sadhakah Brahmantah Guravas Sakshat Ishtam Daivam Shriyapatihi Acharyah Srimadacharyah Santu Janmani Janmani.
Acharya Madhva, in his 79th year, AD 1317, on Magha Shuddha Navami, went alone to Badari, the abode of Badarayana, his beloved Guru. Pingalabde Magha Shuddha Navamyam Badarim
Ananda Mukunda Aravinda Nayana